Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening again, man. I just want to say thank you again and welcome you guys back to another episode of the Conversation 98. And we just appreciate you, appreciate the continued support, appreciate the love and support, man. It's truly been a blessing to keep this thing going. So I just wanted to just say thank you guys so much because it does mean a lot. It means a lot more than what you may even know or think. Some people may not even care, but I just want to say thank you and say that the continued support is most definitely appreciated. But again, man, welcome back to another week. I'm excited um, for tonight, as I usually am. But I just wanted to just thank everybody a lot. And shout out to my family, my Uncle Charles. Um, they buried his mom today, Mama Laura, and I'll continue to pray for strength for my family during this time, and also other families that are going through loss and bereavement. We've been seeing a lot going on, and I just wanted to just lift you guys up in prayer, let you guys know that I pray just for understanding during this time. I pray for healing, and I pray for strength, peace, and strength during this time. But again, man, share this. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We're gonna rock this thing out tonight. I'm here with my man up in my man Peanut up here with me, rocking, and I'm excited though. So we're just gonna go ahead on and really get started. Um, I do want to say, hey, thank everybody getting ready. I know some people coming out spring break, people going on spring break, and I pray that my prayer is that people have a good time and enjoy themselves during this time of recoup. Just take a break. Teachers, take a break. Take a break. What's going on, Danielle? How you doing? She's rocking with me from all the way down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But we want to go ahead on and get started and talk about what we came to talk about tonight. And the episode tonight, we're going to talk about stop yourself from living with regret by appreciating what you're already blessed with. And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring that up, and one of the reasons why I wanted to have that conversation, is because so many times we find ourselves living in regret. And as you live this four-letter word called life, there's some things when you look back on that you be like, man, I could have done better with that. But we can really stop ourselves from living with regret by truly and genuinely appreciating the things that we're already blessed with. Now, don't get this twisted. There's nothing wrong with desiring more and wanting to desire for something better or working towards something better. But there's something about getting to a space of gratitude to where you can genuinely appreciate the things that you already have, like genuinely appreciate it. And once you get to that space, you'll find out you will mitigate or eliminate a lot of the future regret in your life because you appreciate what you have and you recognize the true value in it. Because why? Why am I bringing that up? Because this is the truth. A lot of people don't appreciate the people or the things that they already been blessed with in their life. They don't appreciate it. They find negativity in it and they don't sit down and really value it because the sad truth is many of us, we find ourselves in a place where we begin to take things for granted because it's always been there. And and I look at those things like I can remember talking to a friend of mine and he comes from another country. He came from the Philippines and his mindset is different. And one of the things that I talked to him about, I said, hey man, the perspective is different. Because I said, you got people that's here, they've always had, so they don't see the opportunities that you coming from a place that didn't have the same opportunities. So when you come in, your mindset is like, you know what? I can see it. I can recognize all of these opportunities that we may have here. But the people that always been here, they may not recognize because they've been used to it. They've been used to it. And one of the things with that is, people tend to take for granted the things that they used to because they never had to experience it without. And that's why I said that the famous saying said that, you don't miss the well until the water runs dry. Where when the water always was there, you always knew the water was there, so you never had to go without the water. So every day you just assumed that the water would be there. You didn't take the time to realize, like, what would it be like if I didn't have it? So, like a lot of things, we don't realize that, and a lot of people just assume or just take for granted people and things and the efforts that people do, the things that are provided for us, we take those things for granted. And many of us, sadly, have to lose those things in order for us to truly and genuinely appreciate it. And that the reason why that is because guess what? We lack the gratitude, and we can stop ourselves from living with regret if we just take the time to appreciate the very thing that we're blessed with now. To appreciate it. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. My mom said we lack gratitude as a people. Yes. And Danielle said this. Danielle said privilege, privilege. And that is so true. That is so true. Mama also said, or we forget what it's like to not have what you have, become accustomed to having. Yes, and I'm glad that you said that. I am glad that you said that, Mama, because that's the point that I want to talk about, right? One of the saddest things is many of us, we prayed about certain things and we believed God for certain things, and when we didn't have, and we worked hard and we did all these things to get to a certain level, to have certain things. You maybe prayed for a spouse, prayed for a wife, prayed for a husband, prayed for a job, and then when you get it, you become accustomed to those things that they may give you access to. But then because you become accustomed to it, it becomes familiar to you. And when it becomes familiar, you just begin to take it for granted and not appreciate it. You're not appreciative of it. So right now, you just really start taking and start looking at it from a perspective like it's a problem. Instead of saying, you know what, thank you. Instead of saying, you know what, appreciating and understanding what it is. I'm not telling you to worship that thing or make that an idol. What I'm saying is just appreciate those things. Take your mind back to what it was when you didn't have or when you was trying to get to that space. If we take our time and get to that space, it'll keep us in a space of humility to where we can really maximize and truly enjoy the very thing that we've already been blessed with. And this is the thing, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, right? A lot of people don't realize this, is when we take the time to truly appreciate something that we are blessed with or already have, and we don't take it for granted, that will eliminate any regret going forward. Because even if you can look back on it and realize, like, you know what, I didn't maximize everything, but now peace because you've maximized your effort toward it. Now, you can always find things that you can do better with it, but you maximize your effort. And it's the small things. And this is what a lot of people deal with a lot of hurt and pain, because in relationships and a lot of things that they have in their lives, they're not appreciating the efforts. They're not appreciating those people. They're not appreciating the considerations. They're not appreciating the sacrifices of those people in their lives. And it hurts those people because it is a very hurtful thing to be in a position to know that you've been taken for granted. It is. It is. Danielle said that. She said, you have to stay humble, grounded, and motivated. More appreciative when you do get your blessings. Many people do the opposite. That is so true. That is so true. Now, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's talk about it for a minute. Let's be honest and talk about the reality of this, right? When I'm saying stopping yourself from living with regret, right? Most people don't even realize. Most people don't realize that they lost something or the value of something until they have to lose it. They don't realize the value of something until they have to lose it. And this is the funny thing with that. The regret come in, and then they will operate in an ego and pride to the point to where they will refuse to acknowledge that, wait a minute, I didn't appreciate it. And they will try to find fault, everything in fault with what was the try to project the fault or the blame on the other person. But they just simply did not appreciate it. They simply did not take the gratitude just to say thank you. They did not take the gratitude to say, hey, you know what, to be considerate. They did not take the time and the energy and the effort just to say, you know what, hey, thank you. Hey, that was thoughtful. Hey, I appreciate you. You know what, you didn't have to do that. So you know what, a simple gesture of thank you, a simple gesture of, hey, I appreciate you. A simple gesture goes a long way. Goes a long way. You know, and we can talk about it, but you know, even in a professional setting, you know, we take people for granted. we take people for granted. I can talk about with me being in the profession, being in the military. The things is, you know, a lot of people, and it's not so much of a validation, and a lot of people confuse validation with appreciation. Like nobody's looking for you to validate them, to appreciate them. You know, people will do their jobs. People will work hard because they know they're getting compensated to do it. But also, people like to be appreciated just for their efforts. That's and a lot of times people forget the value of a simple thank you. They forget the value of, hey, good job. They forget the value of, hey, thank you. Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, good job. Hey, attaboy. Hey, just recognizing a pat on the back. They forget the value of that because they begin to take people for granted like they supposed to do that. They supposed to. And this is the thing. Even when somebody's supposed to do something, that still doesn't take away from the fact that people should be appreciated. Appreciated. Really appreciated. And a lot of people forget that. A lot of people forget that. You know, one of the greatest things that I take pride in is being a father. Fulfilling that role of being a father, being a provider, taking care of my family, taking care of my kids, making sure that they working hard to provide them different opportunities to position them to be successful and pursue the things, the goals and their dreams and the things that they're about. I take pride in that. I don't do it for them to celebrate me, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it feels good to be appreciated for what you do. It's a different thing when you get to a space to where people, you start to feel like, well, you're supposed to do that for me. Yeah, I know what I'm supposed to do, but that still doesn't take away from the simple fact that I like to be appreciated sometimes. And a simple thank you, simple small stuff, small things go a long way. They do go a long way. Danielle said, or it's hard to replace it without something just as valuable because you think something looks better than what you had. You know, I practice telling people I appreciate their efforts. Yes, 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 yes. And she also said, especially when you go above and beyond. Listen, and that's what those things right there is what I really wanted to talk about, the dynamic, because many people deal with this. We deal with this and we deal with it from a space to where, you know, a lot of people deal with neglect and they are silent about it because they are too prideful to admit that they didn't appreciate the very thing that they lost. They ain't appreciate it. They just begin to be entitled. You get a sense of entitlement and they act like somebody's supposed to do that. You know, people choose to do, and this is what a lot of people forget this. People choose to do whatever they do for anybody. You know, yeah, we can expect certain things. Yeah, we can expect a mother to do certain things for their kids, a father to do certain things, a husband to do certain things, or a wife to do certain things. We can expect people fulfilling whatever role to do certain things, but people don't have to. And when somebody genuinely puts forth that effort, I'm talking about a genuine effort, an effort out of willingness and not out of obligation. When they genuinely put forth that effort, man, it just take time to appreciate it. Just take time to appreciate it. And I would tell you, man, that like I said before, when we realize, when you realize that everything is a choice and everything people do for you is a choice, regardless of the title, I would tell you that makes it easier to really show value or appreciation, to show value of appreciation. And when you think about it, right, when somebody genuinely appreciates something and there's gratitude in it, it can be felt in their efforts. It can be felt in their actions. It can be felt, and it's not about matching anything. It's not about, well, I'm giving equal value. No, the value is felt in the level of gratitude that is expressed in the effort, in the actions, in the willingness of the individual to communicate, to just say, thank you. Thank you very much. And and we as human beings can communicate, and we should communicate that. And one of the things I say, like, think about it. I can even get it with my main man, my dog Peanut, right? I know when he's appreciative of something when I do for him. Like he loves me to give him belly rubs, right? So I know when I give him a belly rub, I pull him up and I sit him on my lap and I give him a belly rub. The way that he looks at me like, hey, man, thank you. Like, thank you. He licks his tongue out and he's just being a happy space. And when I come home every day, I can tell that he's happy to see me. I mean, and it's just this is a dog. He don't talk. He don't. He love to sing, but he don't talk. He don't do anything. But he expresses his level of gratitude. Now, if a dog can do that, why is it so hard for us to do that with people in our lives? Why is it so hard for us to do that, to show and really take the time to appreciate and realize what we're blessed with in our lives, right? What we're truly blessed with. You know, and a lot of that, the reason why it's so hard for some people to be appreciative and take the time to express gratitude to the people that, or the things that they are blessed with in their lives, is for the simple fact that they're selfish. And a lot of them don't even realize they're selfish. You know, most people, because of pride, do not realize that they're selfish. And what I mean by this is they don't consider themselves as a selfish person, but all of their actions and their ideology is self-centered. So everything is centered around them getting what they want. So if they feel like they're not getting what they want, they don't even appreciate the things that they are getting or seeing the consistency in the things that are being provided to or for them. So to them, nothing is ever good enough, and you should do more. And those people, I'm telling you, and many of us, and it's not talking about, this is not a one-sided thing. This right here is not a one-sided thing. And I want people to really understand that, because this is it. Nobody is exempt from being walking in pride, having an ego, having a sense of entitlement, or even taking people for granted. Nobody is exempt from that. So I don't want people to feel like if you found yourself on this side to where somebody may have taken you for granted, you know, that doesn't mean that you haven't taken somebody else for granted. The thing that I'm saying is just taking time to value and truly appreciate. And I mean, small things. Some things people don't even realize. They don't understand the sacrifices that people made for them. And then because they don't have the sacrifices, they'll have the audacity to even take what these people do for granted and feel like they are entitled to that. But it's a different thing when the tables turn and they got to carry their own weight themselves. It's a different ball game. You know, like I said, it's real out here in these streets. You know, you have people all the time, younger kids. I remember when younger, man, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be as honest as possible, boy. Listen, I wish I could go back to when I was younger and be staying at home and not have to worry about just paying bills, not have to worry about the responsibility of being an adult and feeling like, oh man, I can't wait to get out there. You know, that's because, you know what, you didn't know no better. I ain't know no better. And I hear people say that now, oh, I can't wait to get out on my own. I can't wait. Yeah, no, you want that freedom, but it's a lot that come with it. And when you realize people make sacrifices and do a lot of things for you, it's different. And I would tell you, one of the funnest things that I say, when things become yours, stuff switch and change very quickly. When things become, when the table turns and you're the one have to take that responsibility, things shift and become, I mean, the reality becomes very, very, it changes very, very quickly. And it changes in a very funny space. And, you know, it's different, very different. It is very different. I can remember my kids, we were at a grocery store and we was going shopping, and kids was always asking for, hey, let me get these, let me get some Fruit Loops, let me get this cereal, let me get this, let me get that. I said, you know what? All y'all gonna get $20, and you got to buy your cereal, your snacks, all of that for the month, right? And immediately when I gave them the $20 a piece, they went from asking for all of this stuff to them jokers start negotiating with each other. They started to be like, hey, look, you get the grapes, I get the strawberries, and I get this, and I get that. And I was like, nah, you got to buy your own thing. So they went from wanting a bag of Fruit Loops to getting a big bag of Fruitios. You know why? Because it became their money. And a lot of times people don't appreciate things because they never had to carry the burden of the responsibility of it. That's how some people can take people for granted. And it's different. That's like I said, it's different when it becomes and the dynamic change. And a lot of times, and a lot of things, I'm telling you, you know, we got a lot of people that sport. If you got somebody in your life, that really looks out for you, that you can really depend on, that is dependable, always come through, consistent, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm talking about, you know, you can depend on them. Appreciate them. Don't get in your feelings about the ancillary stuff. And we tend to focus on stuff that don't really matter in the big picture. I'm talking about really appreciate them. These people that came through for you, they always there for you. They you know you can call and depend on them, but then you mad because they may not do something that you like. So you feel like because of that, you just have a right to feel like that type of stuff erodes so many things and cause people to lose the very thing that they're blessed with. And they will be sitting on the other side like, dang, I lost a good thing. But most of them will be too prideful to admit it. They'll be too prideful to admit that part. And Danielle said, it's not just money, it's time and effort too. And what I mean, and I would tell you, time and effort goes a long way. Look, my mom lives with me. So I enjoy it. I would tell you, I enjoy that more than anything. I get a chance to take care of my mom. My dad, this summer will be 10 years since my dad passed. And the thing is, it's like an honor for me, honoring my dad, being able to take care of my mom. So the reason why I say that is my mom will make sure when I come home, my mom usually cooks for me, right? I don't ask her to do it, but that's my mom's way of saying that. She says she enjoys cooking for me because I do so much for her or whatever. But when I come home and I walk through that door, I can smell that food. When I smell that food, I come on and I dealt with something at work or whatever. I can sit down and eat. I tell my mom, thank you. I love on her. I kiss on her. I hug her and simply say thank you, because I appreciate that. Because guess what? I can cook. Your boy can throw down. You know what I'm saying? Your boy can cook. But I appreciate the fact that I don't have to cook. I appreciate that. I appreciate it to be able to walk in the house and I got food. I mean, I'm talking about it's on the stove most time. I mean, just ready to go. And I genuinely appreciate it. And I expressed it, right? And I make sure my mom have the things. And if I can provide it, I make sure that she has it, right? And that's just a level of showing appreciation, right? And I will tell you this. We don't know the day nor the hour or how long we have people. And I would tell you that I would not be living with regret. And I can say the same thing when my father passed. I did not have to live with regret because I maximized every moment that I had to show and express my appreciation to him for the things that he did for me. And you know, one of the things you don't think about, and one of the things I didn't think about when I was younger, right, was the value in which people played, or the roles that people played in my life that I didn't appreciate at the time, right? And didn't understand the value of how much it was a blessing. And I had an issue with my dad because I thought my dad was just being extra. but he was preparing me to walk into the role of fulfilling the role of being a man and provider and taking care of my family. Once I got to that space, it was one day where it hit me like an epiphany. I was 21 years old, to the point to where I called home and I told my dad, thank you. Thank you for everything that you did for me. Thank you for getting on my nerves. Thank you. And I was literally in tears because I realized, right, of what I was taking for granted. And I didn't sit around and wait. I didn't just say whatever. I said thank you. I called and I said thank you. And Danielle said this about my mom. She said she's doing something to make your day life just a little easier by doing that. And that's what that's about. Yes. And I appreciate it. Like, seriously, like I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, people don't think about this. People, we take a lot of stuff for granted. We don't consider the fact of there are people in our lives, man, that do so much for us. And that some of us don't even have the courtesy, the common courtesy to say thank you. So many of us, so many people benefit from people being in their lives, being consistent, providing for them, doing things for them, always being there. Know you can pick up the phone and call and they're there. But when it comes to you providing that very same thing, you always got an excuse. You always got something that pops up. You always got something else, but then you don't give that same energy. And a lot of times your appreciation, your gratitude is your willingness to provide the same energy, not the same thing. And when you are willing to provide that same energy, it is communicated that you appreciate them, and it heals a lot of things, right? A lot of people have to deal with neglect from the simple fact that their energy ain't even matched based off of the energy that they consistently give others. And they have to deal with that because guess what? People don't think about, most of those people, they don't think about what they do. They don't consider what somebody else do. They just used to receiving it. And then they will receive it from the people and then act like the people are supposed to do it. Like they supposed to do what they're doing for them. Not seeing the fact that they are choosing to do what they do for them. And sadly, many of those same people, right, will feel like play the role of a victim when something is brought up to them. They'll play the role of a victim when somebody bring up, hey, you ain't matching the energy. And it's that's what I'm saying, just matching it. And it does not take much to match. You just have to be willing. And most people simply aren't willing. Period. They aren't willing. Oh, yes. And Danielle said that some people do that to their own adult children. Yes. And this is why I say that, right? And the thing that I'm really talking about tonight, what I really wanted to discuss and get to it is, you can stop yourself from living in regret in the future. You can stop yourself from doing it. You can stop yourself just by simply taking the time and energy to say, you know what, genuinely appreciate those things. Some parents don't appreciate the blessing that it has to have their kids in their house. And they prioritize working. They prioritize achieving their goals and chasing their dreams to where, boom, when they get ready to, I'm going to focus in on my kids. Your kid's gone. Your kids graduated. They out the house. And now you sitting there feeling like you the victim, like, oh, well, no, you chose other things over there. And guess what? You got to deal with that regret because you didn't appreciate the blessing of your kids, of the lives of your kids, and the opportunities for the memories that you could have made. But now you were so busy chasing that next position, chasing that next promotion, chasing whatever it was, instead of truly prioritizing your children in your life. And now you missing out. Or you missed out. And I made it a point to myself. And sadly, I'm gonna say this, sadly, I see that happen a lot for people in the military, in the professional environment. And yeah, you can make money, you can achieve certain things, you can have all of this, that, and the third. But what good is it when you lose the very thing that you say you sacrificing for? And many people live in regret later on, and they try to make up through their grandkids. But they still have a hole in their kids' heart because guess what? Your kids will grow up and see you're more dedicated to the grandkids, and watch this. Yeah, we can about healing, but then that leaves a hole in their heart because they saying like, dang, you giving all this effort to be there for your grandkids, but you doing that out of regret, but you still ain't came to me and be like, you know what? I was wrong for my efforts and I apologize. But you know what? That's just how some people are. But you can change it. You don't have to deal a lot of the regret that potentially is in our future. You have the ability to mitigate that by simply appreciating the people that you and the things that you are already blessed with. Look at it. Yes, you may want to go to another level. Yes, you may not be satisfied, but you can be content and value and see and appreciate the value in what you have. Because a lot of people allow their diamond, a lot of people allow the diamond that they're already blessed with to be discovered by somebody else because they didn't take the time to appreciate and see the potential of that coal that they have, and see the potential that coal has to be the diamond that somebody else gets to experience because they appreciate it. Don't let that go over your head. Don't let that go over your head. So I hope and wish so many people get a chance to rectify those things, and it doesn't take much. And I want people to understand that it does not take much to change. It don't take much to change. You just have to be willing to be self-aware enough to acknowledge where you at, right? And say, you know what, this is where I'm at. No excuses, but hey, this is where I'm at. Don't blame nobody else. Don't try to put it on nobody else. I'm talking about take full ownership of your actions, right? And then, or your inactions, and just say, you know what, make those small changes. And then after a while, when I mean small changes, it's those efforts, right? Pick up the phone. Hey, if somebody texting you, somebody call you, somebody make sure that you have, if you like coffee and they make sure that you have your coffee, they do those things. You know, those are the things that people don't realize, right? And and just like what Danielle said, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul, as well as his good family, right? And just appreciate the people, man. If you know that you haven't really been given that full effort, just say, you know what, hey, I apologize, and just start doing it. A lot of healing will come from that. Man, I thank you guys so much for rocking with your boy. Go ahead and you see me on all of these different social media platforms. I'm here on Facebook at The Conversation 98, YouTube at The Conversation 98. I'm on Instagram at 98 Conversation. I mean Twitter at the Conversation at 98 Conversation. Instagram The Conversation 98, and on TikTok The Conversation _98. Hey, go and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Please make sure you share this, let people know what it is. And I really genuinely appreciate your support. You guys have a blessed and wonderful day. God bless.